The Innovators Network.
Welcome to the Killer Innovation Show, the longest continuously produced podcast in history. Each week, Phil McKinney brings you the insights and strategies to amplify your creativity and innovation skills. Here's your host, Phil McKinney. This episode is sponsored by Zoom. With Zoom, you can streamline your communication, collaboration, and creativity all in one place. Zoom is the market-leading platform that provides video meetings, voice, webinars, and chat across desktops, phones, tablets, and conference room systems. To learn more about Zoom and sign up for your free account, visit killerinnovations.com/Zoom.
Welcome to this week's Killer Innovations podcast. In our fast-evolving business landscape, 74% of employees suppress their creativity due to the fear of failure. Ironically, embracing this fear is exactly what leads us to groundbreaking innovation. Failure is not a dead end, but a stepping stone to success. Failure often gifts us with insights that success can't. It provides valuable lessons that pave the way for transformational changes, fostering an environment where employees are encouraged to take calculated risks, voice their ideas, and learn from their setbacks. In this episode, we will delve into organizations turning the tables, how to turn the tables, transforming fear into a potent catalyst for innovation. We will walk through the examples of organizations that have turned failure into breakthrough success and the actionable steps that organizations can take to develop a culture of innovation that embraces failure as the innovation catalyst it is. But before we jump into this week's episode, I have a favor to ask. Follow, like, and share. Follow, like, and share us on your favorite social media platforms. This is a great way to help us reach more people and spread the word about the podcast. And if you are not receiving our free weekly newsletter, visit philmckinney.com, click on membership to sign up. Now, let's dive in to this week's episode. In today's society, success is often glorified and celebrated, while failure is viewed as shameful and something to be avoided at all costs. However, failure can be an essential part of the innovation process. Many of the world's greatest inventions and breakthroughs have come about due to failure. Why is failure a powerful catalyst for innovation? How can you turn failure into an innovation that leads to success? Let's talk about the importance of failure in innovation. People often view failure as a negative thing, something to be avoided. However, without failure, there will be no progress. Failure is essential to learning and can provide a valuable feedback and insights. When Thomas Edison was working on the light bulb, he famously said, quote, "I have not failed. I've just found 10,000 ways that won't work," end quote. Edison understood that failure was an integral part of the innovation process and that every failure brought him one step closer to success. Walt Disney shared a similar perspective about failure. Disney was fired from his first job in a newspaper for lacking creativity. Later, his first animation studio went bankrupt. And despite these numerous setbacks, Disney persevered. He learned from his failures and used them as stepping stones to create the Disney empire we all know and love today. Instead of deterring him, these instances fueled his innovation and drove him to produce some of the most beloved animated films. By embracing failure and seeing it as an opportunity to learn, you will be better positioned to innovate. Now, let's talk about overcoming the fear of failure. One of the main reasons people avoid failure is due to the fear of embarrassment or shame. However, it's essential to understand that failure does not reflect your abilities or your worth. Every successful person has experienced failure at some point in their life, and what they do with that failure sets them apart. To overcome the fear of failure, reframing your mindset and viewing failure as a necessary part of innovation is essential. Instead of viewing it as a personal failure, see it as an opportunity to learn and to grow. Consider the case of Google. They have created a separate division within the tech giant that encourages employees to work on so-called moonshot projects, highly ambitious projects aiming to solve enormous problems using radical solutions. However, what sets Google apart is its perspective on failure. The organization celebrates failure, understanding that's integral to innovation. They even have a failure award given to teams whose projects did not succeed but demonstrated valuable learnings. This approach mitigates the fear of failure among its employees and fosters a culture of innovation and creativity. By embracing failure and recognizing it as a stepping stone, Google actively encourages its employees to take calculated risks in cultivating an environment conducive to groundbreaking innovation. What about learning from failure? Once you've embraced failure as part of innovation, you need to learn from it. Failure can provide valuable feedback and insights that can help you refine and improve your idea. When something doesn't work, take the time to analyze why it failed and what you can do differently next time. This process of trial and error is essential to innovate. It can help you create something truly groundbreaking. In fact, many successful companies and products have emerged as a result of learnings from failure. For example, Apple's first attempt at the tablet, the Newton, was a massive, unmitigated failure. However, they learned from that experience and eventually created the highly successful iPad. Here are some steps to follow to review failure and extract lessons learned. First off, acknowledge the failure. The first step is to acknowledge that failure has occurred. Denying it or ignoring it will not serve your innovation journey. 2. Gather some information. Collect data and information about what happened. What were the circumstances that led to the failure? What was the expected outcome and how did the results actually differ? 3. Analyze the situation. Once you have all the facts, begin analyzing. What factors contributed to the failure? Look at the situation from multiple perspectives to gain a comprehensive understanding. And 4, identify the learning points. What can you learn from the failure? Identify the takeaways that can inform your future actions. And 5, create an action plan. Develop a plan based on your learnings. This might involve tweaking your strategy, adjusting your processes, or investing in additional resources or training. And 6, implement the plan. Put your plan in action. Remember to remain adaptable. The path to innovation often requires revisions and alterations. And 7, and this is the one most people do not do, document it. Keep a record of your failures and subsequent learnings. This documentation will serve as a valuable, essential resource in your innovation journey. And then 8, share the lessons. Foster a culture of transparency and growth by sharing your failures and learnings with your teams. Doing so encourages others to take risks and learn from their mistakes, which fuels a culture of innovation. Remember, failure is not a dead end, but a detour to a different route. By reviewing your failures and capturing the learnings, you can turn setbacks into opportunities for innovation. So what is that next step? Pivoting a failure. How do you pivot a failure into an innovation? Now, when failure occurs, not giving up or abandoning your idea is essential. Instead, look at the problem differently and find a new solution. This process involves a series of steps that, when you can combine them, can help you uncover that groundbreaking innovation. First, there's a need to reassess your vision and redefine your objectives. What was the original goal? Is it still relevant, or does the failure open up a new direction that could be more beneficial? Second, identify the root cause of the failure and understand its implications. This is where a deep dive into the details is crucial. In doing so, you might uncover overlooked opportunities or hidden insights. Third, brainstorm new solutions. Use the knowledge from the failure to think of innovative approaches or strategies that could work better to solve the problem. Fourth, prototype and test these new ideas. Not every new idea will be successful, but through prototyping and testing, you will get closer to finding a solution that does work. Fifth, iterate on the process. Innovation is rarely a one-off event. It's a continuous process of learning, designing, testing, refining. Learning, designing, testing, refining. And keep that on repeat. It's an iterative process. By following these steps, you can make the most of any failure and use it as that springboard to drive the discovery of that next innovation. Now, it is essential to stay open-minded and be willing to take risks to foster this meaningful change and unlock the new opportunities. Most people do not have the grit. They don't stick with it. Stick with it. Now, what happens when failure does lead to success? The concept of when failure leads to success revolves around the idea that our mistakes and setbacks can allow us to learn, adapt, and improve. This concept highlights the importance of resiliency, adaptability, and a focus on growth, personal, professional, and in the innovation. It encourages us to view failure not as an outcome, but as a feedback mechanism, a source of learning, a guidepost, and keeping our eyes open and being aware of what those next opportunities could be. Moreover, many successful people and organizations have their share of failures. They've missed the mark, stumbled, fallen, but what sets them apart from their competitor is their ability to pick themselves up, learn, turn their failures into stepping stones, and moving on. Embracing the perspective can transform how we approach challenges, handle setbacks, and have that grit and endurance to pursue innovation. Nobody promised that innovation was easy. But here are some real-life examples where failures ultimately led to breakthrough successes. Consider the case of Dyson. Now, James Dyson, the company's founder, went through 5,126 failed prototypes over 15 years. Hear that again. 5,126 failed prototypes over 15 years before perfecting his revolutionary vacuum cleaner. His ability to learn from each failure and persist with his vision led to an innovative product that disrupted the industry. Another excellent example of this is the Post-it note. The inventor was trying to create a super strong adhesive, but instead ended up with a weak, reusable adhesive. Rather than viewing this as a failure, he saw the potential for a new product that today results in 50 billion Post-it notes produced annually. Now, one of the key elements on supporting this recognition and changing your mindset around failure is an innovation culture. An innovation culture that acknowledges failure. Now, creating a strong innovation culture is crucial in today's ever-evolving business landscapes for everyone. Often, companies that embrace an innovation culture are the ones that adapt and thrive amidst all the changes and challenges. Innovation culture is an environment that fosters creative thinking, encourages experimentation, and values learning from failure. It is where ideas, no matter how outlandish they may seem, are welcomed and discussed, where creativity is not just encouraged, but it is expected, and where failure is not feared, but is seen as an integral part of the learning process. In companies with a strong innovation culture, employees are empowered to take calculated risks and challenge the status quo. They're not afraid to voice their ideas or to showcase their creativity and to test their hypothesis, even if these may lead to total disasters, failures. This is because they know that failures are not the end, but a stepping stone. They're learnings to prepare for the long-term success of innovation. Innovation cultures also foster resiliency. Companies with strong culture are better equipped to bounce back from setbacks. They can turn their failures into innovations. So how do you create a strong culture that is not just a one-time event, but it needs to be an ongoing process? Here are some steps. 1. Communicate the company's vision and mission. Ensure everyone understands the organization's direction and how their contributions will help achieve this goal. 2. Create an environment that stimulates creativity and encourages experimentation. Ensure employees can access the tools, resources, training to develop innovative ideas and solutions. 3. Promote collaboration and teamwork. Encourage employees to collaborate, share their knowledge, experiences, discuss ideas, and respectfully challenge one another. 4. Celebrate successes, big and small. Acknowledge the efforts of employees who have contributed to the team's success and recognize their achievements. 5. Embrace failure. Create an environment where employees are not afraid to take risks and try new things, even if they may lead to failure. Encourage people to learn from their mistakes and use them as stepping stones. 6. Encourage open communication and feedback. Create an environment, an atmosphere where employees feel comfortable giving and receiving constructive feedback and openly expressing their ideas without fear of judgment. As we wrap up, innovation is often born out of failure. I can speak from personal experience. All the failures I've had far outnumber the successes. These innovations that are born out of failure is vividly illustrated by the innovations we use every day. I am sitting here looking at a stack of Post-it notes. That is a product that is a result of failure. Embracing an innovation culture as an organization is crucial to fostering an environment where employees feel empowered to take risks, voice their ideas, learn from failures, knowing that these are not endpoints, but simply the next step to success. Thank you so much for joining us today on the podcast. We truly appreciate the time you've given us to explore the vital topic of failure and its role in innovation. I hope the topic shared today has inspired you and your team to see failure not as an endpoint, but as that stepping stone, that step you need to take towards groundbreaking innovation. As we wrap up, I would like your help. If you enjoyed today's episode and found the content useful, please share it on your social media platforms or directly with colleagues and friends who might benefit from our discussion. The more we spread these ideas, the more organizations we can impact. Additionally, consider leaving us a review on your podcast platform of choice. Your feedback helps us improve and helps others discover our show. Now, if there's a topic you'd like to cover in the future, don't hesitate to contact us. Just hop on over to killerinnovations.com and fill out the form. As always, the show notes and other resources mentioned are available at killerinnovations.com and over at theinnovators.network. If you're not already subscribed to the weekly newsletter, visit philmckinney.com Click on membership to sign up. It's a great way to stay connected and get a heads up on upcoming episodes and other exciting developments. And again, thank you for your time. I personally value your support, and I'm excited to continue this learning, growth, and innovation journey with you. Until next week, keep innovating, keep being fearless, and remember, the seeds of your greatest innovations lie dormant in the soil of your biggest failures. Talk with you next week. Bye-bye.
Podcasting nonstop since 2005, this has been the Killer Innovation Show on the Innovators Network.
This show is distributed by the Innovators Network. For more information and other great shows and content, visit theinnovators.network.